learned to an election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into October 30th, 2020, and the stock market was crazy today, and it's only going to get crazier. The stock market has voted. We saw the reports from Amazon, Google, Facebook, and the world was waiting for Apple, and we saw it, and it was kind of very surprising. They decided to not give guidance. You see, Google, they did good, so that was a positive thing. The earnings still beat, and this has kind of been the theme we've been talking about. We've been seeing a lot of different companies and tech companies and all that, and the guidance has been important. So I have an outline for all of the big earnings. We're going to talk about what this means, what I mean by the market has voted today, and even just where we're at S&P 500, the analysis with the election, and then tomorrow and Monday are going to be huge. So I hope you're ready, but I got the plays. I got the keys. The plays that we made today, we had some good plays. Tomorrow is going to be a lot of continuations. It is a Froggy Friday, and you got to bring a friend to cult day. But there is a lot of interesting things going on right now. So we have a lot to talk about, a little bit of thesis, and yeah, plays, all of that, everything. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes for open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the stock market. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, if you want to hear throughout the trading day from special guests ranging from Biden to W. Bush to Obama, a very representative group, even Pony Montana. Yes, that's us. We're the place to be. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, free mixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad, baby. And special appreciation to Mr. Eric Lorette. Amazing mod call out today. God bless you. Shout out to Chad. Fastest news in the world, baby. So right off the bat, we're going to talk about the earnings. This whole lack of guidance has been confirmed. This is what I've been talking about since Monday. SAP earnings, we saw Microsoft. Now we have everybody, but this whole idea of what is coming into 2021, we had a little lesson on that on stream. Corporate profits, the future guidance, it's kind of getting confirmed that 2021 is going to be shaky. Now you go back to the market. This is something I said yesterday. Don't underestimate the resiliency of the S&P. We didn't really move that much, and a lot of these stocks, they made moves, even though they reported, Google did probably the best, but Facebook and Amazon, the moves, it wasn't anything too crazy. If anything, it had most of the move happen today as we kind of had a really big ramp up on the NASDAQ. So this is key, and you could even see it through the earnings, why we haven't been too affected, because some of these companies, Amazon, they have good guidance for Q4. Facebook gave guidance for Q4 that was good as well too. So it wasn't always this case where every company was like Apple. That's why Apple is an industry, a world leader. That's why it's interesting to see them take that. And we talked about it today. They have not given guidance before. They've lowered guidance or given warnings even in like 2018. So we have some idea of how the stock would react. But this is interesting coming into all of this, the election, but even beyond the election, you guys got to think about this. Wall Street's talking about 2021, or at least for the next 3 months this winter. So the market didn't move too much, and that's why coming into tomorrow and Monday, that is what we're going to be looking for. But as far as the reports, to get an idea of this guidance and this issue that's causing this imbalance where it's like the reports are good, but they're selling off. It's like some are giving good guidance, some are uncertain. There's many levels or layers to this. So as far as Apple, the big thing, they beat on mostly everything. They had good service growth. They had even upside in phones and all that, but their total revenue, even though they beat, it's down from last year, or it's a similar, I believe now even iPhone revenue is down year over year. They missed really bad on that, but then they gave no guidance coming into the next quarter, or even 2021, which is very interesting considering that is the holiday season. Now coming to Facebook, they killed it on everything. They did good at daily users. Everything else went up with Facebook, and they made a comment saying they have some significant level of uncertainty into 2021, but they gave Q4 guidance that was still expected to grow revenue. So they still gave Q4 guidance, but they're still saying coming into any quarter after that, they're being cautious, or like a lot of companies have said, they're not too sure on what's going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty. So there was that. Google did very, very good. And now this makes sense why they went up, and we'll see how this plays out. They have a few different things, but first and foremost, they bounced back from a bad second quarter. So remember, we talked about Google being the lagger, but last quarter, they kind of didn't really do the best compared to all of the tech, even though they still had the run up, but it wasn't Amazon. It wasn't like any of those growth companies because they had their first Q2 revenue drop last quarter, and that was pretty much because of COVID. They saw spending in some weird drops in other places, but they bounced back from that. And then now some of the positive news that they gave, and I think this is why it's going up. I believe they still gave strong revenue for next quarter. They didn't say anything. They really didn't give too much about uncertainty. They've made changes, but they're actually breaking out their cloud segment's operating margin next quarter. That's what they announced. So you're going to be able to see their return on investment with that, and that could be positive for them, and that could be a really, really positive segment in the future. So seems like Google isn't too worried about it, and they've kind of just a very normal and good report, and considering they did bad last time, this was pretty good. The expectation was only $50. They did $150. They did 3 times that. So there's that, and then same thing, even Amazon. Amazon did good. They guided higher for Q4, but now the fact that you see it with Apple, and then you're hearing this, I guess it's pretty much stated that it was good reports. Companies beat revenue, EPS, even some guided higher for Q4, but it's not giving a clear-cut signal into what's going to come to 21. Pretty much all of the earnings have been pretty haphazard in a weird way, where they were all beating, they were all doing good, but there's still these little spots in every single one of them. It's like, well, what is that? Or how is that going to affect in 2021? Is this story going to continue? So this has been the key, and this is what I mean. The market is voted today. We will see what happens tomorrow. You are literally right in the smack dab middle of that election zone where it's saying that the stock market can predict the presidency, and people have talked about that. We've talked about that. You are right in the middle of that, and the market is voted today all across the board. Even though they were good earnings with Apple giving low guidance, the market is just pretty much saying that they're not voting in a weird way. Everything was good, but we don't know, and that's kind of how it's boiling down. So very unique, very interesting, but now we need to see the next 2 days, and this last impression before the election, Friday and Monday, is going to be important, but we still have to watch other things now. So I hope you guys could see the main driver is uncertainty or not coming into 2021, and now there's this big cloud over all of it, regardless, because of Apple. Again, the election is going to be important, but then today, you even heard it from the ECB, Lagarde. She made some comments saying that the euro recovery is unraveling faster. Again, Europe is going back to the lockdowns. We're already seeing that. You're seeing that develop, but that hurts Europe as well as now oil, and we saw big moves on that. So this is what I've been saying. Don't underestimate the resiliency of the S&P in the United States market. We have good enough data here. It's a different situation than what we're seeing overseas. Remember, SAP was a German company. They restructured. We are kind of just uncertain, but you haven't seen any real drastic shift from any of the American big dogs. So again, I think our market could be a little bit more resilient, but what we're watching moving forward now, both during the election and even after the election, it's going to be global events, and it's going to be kind of how the rest of the world performs. So tomorrow and Monday is going to be key, unless the market reacts to the election or new news. I see all of this today as bullish and neutral. I'm more leaning towards the neutral, where we might kind of cuck or hang around this range, but I could see the market finding something to take positive. But again, the only thing weighing on that is the election. So we will see. I hope you're ready, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, we really just have the plays that we need to make and that we're looking at tomorrow. I'm going to go after all of the FANG continuations. Again, the fact that they didn't move a lot, and we talked about this today, I really think you're going to get a lot of the moves, and pay attention to how you've seen the moves from the other earnings companies before. You saw Pinterest today. You saw Snapchat. When it was good, they got really, really good momentum. The market is rewarding good, and those are going to continue. If it's haphazard, it's probably going to trade haphazardly. So watch for the continuations. Pretty much even one of the plays I have, I will be looking for Apple frogs on the downside if this continues and if it plays like Microsoft. And think about that too. You guys got to watch Microsoft, so I would not be surprised to watch it play out very, very similar. similar. It looks the same. Big earnings drop a little bit later, sell off after the call. Watch how it plays in pre-market. It might sell off, have a little bounce in the morning, go into a range, and then pretty much react at the beginning, the first couple hours, and the last couple hours. So I'm going to be looking that exactly to play out like Apple. It could be a little bit different, but then what you also have to watch out for is how the market is going to react, whether there is any upgrades or downgrades. I don't know if you'll get that this soon, but that usually does happen after earnings. I mean, again, I want to know how analysts are going to take all this. So watch out for that. And then even on that next scale, there's another play that we made. I think this is going to be good. I took the gamble on it. I'm holding it, but we played the Netflix. We got it on the news. Shout out to the cult baby, Eric, the stream alerts, everybody. Y'all did good on it. It was amazing. We called this out. We got the news. Somebody called it out in the chat. It was running. Eric confirmed the news. We were able to see they were raising prices. They've done this before. It ultimately led to a net positive. Even if there is a second round of lockdowns or anything, they got the price position to make a lot more. It's a 50% price increase. So it's overall bullish for them. I wouldn't even be surprised to see this carry on into the next few days. We will see, but we made a play on this. It was almost 1,000%. I'm still holding them. We got 5 of these 520 calls. We got it right in that like second or third candle right here. We got the news. I bought 5 of those at 52 cents. They shot up. I sold 3 back at 318 a pop. Got all of my money back plus like another $100 profit. And then I'm holding 2 more of them left, and they were at like $3 or $4 at one point. I wanted a little bit more than they fell. So they expire tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out. If there's bullishness, we'll benefit off of that. However, I think you're going to get Netflix moving a little interesting because it brings it to an interesting level. And now with all of these earnings and everything, and that is its kind of own independent catalyst. So like I said, market has been rewarding winners and really punishing the losers. So we'll see how that plays out tomorrow. But watch them. I'm biased more towards the Apple puts because it reminds me of Microsoft, and then everything else. I will look at Amazon and Google. Google would probably be continuation on the upside. It just depends how it holds this strength, but this is a big surprise. Will be harder, but tomorrow is going to have a lot of opportunities. There is also going to be Starbucks. They didn't move as much. We'll see how that plays out. I have not looked too much into their report, so I'll put this one on the back burner, but I think you're just going to have a lot more opportunity with the bigger names. There was Twitter. We had this play. They dropped, and now, some of you have been seeing the Snapchat, the Pinterest, and all that, kind of trying to tie all this together so you could kind of learn from it. They dropped because even though they beat on EPS and revenue, they missed really, really heavy on the user growth, and they're delaying one of their main ad products that they wanted to roll out that was supposed to generate them a lot of revenue. But they had a COVID boom in users, but the user growth slowed significantly. Even then, I think Snapchat was able to add more users than them. So which one's dead? I don't know. It's up to you to be the judge, but that's why they dropped. It's at an interesting level. Our puts should go up in value, but this might be one that we could double dip on. So watch that. And speaking of the double dip, watch Intel as well too. They still kept dropping, which was surprising. So this might be one, if they bounce up tomorrow, maybe look for a swing trade into Monday. I'm going to keep my eyes on those. We got a 4 tonight play. Did a cheap $30 put on, same strategy we've been doing, but they did not move. And again, the volume on everything has been very, very low. So the key is really watching the moves in the morning and kind of just how the first couple hours play out to see when actual liquidity gets there. And we will be able to kind of get an idea or confirm what the market really thinks. So watch them. Watch USO, some of the China stocks as well too. USO, again, this was related to both Europe, demand, oil, all of that, and kind of all of this situation. But now this brings us to the final one. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but UUP has been popping off, whereas gold has came down. And I said this one's going to be a more post-election play, but a lot of people keep talking TLT. But even with what you're seeing with the dollar, TLT is not responding. So again, I'd wait till you hear from Mr. Powell, but there's outside influence on this. So it's not time for a TLT play yet, or at least that's my opinion. What I'm really watching is GLD, but now the dollar too. If it does kind of continue this and get a little crazy, this is definitely capturing my attention. So it is going to be exciting. Tomorrow and Monday are really going to be a setup. So I hope you're ready, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to remember, baby, that you're not Job. So either way, they're going to say stuff. They're not going to say stuff. But the question is, are you doubting? But the code loves you. I love you. I will see you in the morning. Let's go.